100 thriller and suspense novels you should read. Hello and welcome back to Deep Dives with SmartBookWorms. I'm Claire, your virtual book guru host for today's show, Unmasking the Thrall of Thriller and Suspense. In this episode, the 6 book gurus of SmartBookWorms, Amanda, Martina, Kris, Megan, Nathan, and myself, share their top selections, spanning contemporary gems and a few timeless classics that have been republished in recent years. The majority of these works hail from the 21st century, reflecting the evolving landscape of the genre while celebrating its rich traditions. Thriller and suspense novels are the lifeblood of literary excitement. They captivate readers with their edge-of-your-seat narratives, compelling characters, and intricate plots that often twist and turn in unexpected directions. Whether it's the pulse-pounding tension of a psychological thriller, the gripping unease of a supernatural tale, or the nail-biting drama of a domestic suspense, these stories are designed to keep you guessing until the very last page. The beauty of this genre lies in its diversity. Thriller and suspense novels explore a wide range of themes, from human fears and resilience to the darkest corners of the human psyche. They have the power to transport readers into shadowy worlds filled with danger, mystery, and intrigue, making them perfect for anyone seeking an unforgettable reading experience. In this curated collection, we've gathered 100 authors who have mastered the art of suspense. This list is ideal for those looking to take their first steps into this exhilarating genre, as well as seasoned fans searching for their next favorite read. Each entry represents a unique voice and perspective, showcasing the incredible range that thriller and suspense fiction has to offer. Dive in and prepare to lose yourself in stories that will leave you breathless, questioning every motive and hungry for more.
A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This is horror writing that recalls the early works of such prolific authors as Stephen King and Peter Straub, with shout-outs to masters like Poe himself. Begging to Die by Graham Masterton. A gripping crime thriller that plunges the reader into the dark underbelly of Cork, Ireland, where fearless Detective Chief Inspector Cate Maguire must navigate a complex web of murder, deceit, and social injustice. Black River Orchard by Chuck Wendig. This weighty tome is Wendig's masterpiece, and he pulls out all the stops in telling a spine-chilling tale that readers will never forget. Black Widows by Kate Quinn. Everything about Black Widows is simply terrific, from the descriptions, characterizations, and pacing to the structure of the novel and the mystery that pulses at the heart of the story from beginning to end. Glimpse by Jonathan Maberry. The kind of book you won't be able to put down once you've started it, and you may find yourself hiding under the covers if you choose to read it in bed. Irene by Pierre Lemaitre. The cat-and-mouse game gathers tension as the book progresses. The twists and turns of the plot, which is tightly written, will keep readers on the edge of their seats. That may be a cliché, but in this case it is true. Mr. Splitfoot by Samantha Hunt. A phenomenal, inventive and irresistible read that takes readers from the swirling cosmos to the quiet potentiality of the womb, from the hopeful supernatural to the devastatingly realistic. Outpost by Adam Baker. A gripping, fast-paced thriller that throws readers into a chilling, isolated world, where the characters are forced to confront not only external threats, but also the darkness within themselves. Stoker's Manuscript by Royce Prouty. Royce Prouty has clearly done his homework and does a terrific job of blurring the lines between fact and fiction to create a novel that is chilling, informative, and utterly suspenseful. The Bad Daughter by Joy Fielding. A great read for fans of Lisa Gardner, Lisa Scottoline, and Karen Slaughter, and for those who want to lose themselves in a compelling page-turner for an afternoon or a lazy weekend. The Doll Master by Joyce Carol Oates. At a time in her career when she could be phoning in her stories, Oates continues to offer the world a bounty of work that remains fresh, new, and always interesting. The Haunting of Moscow House by Olesya Salnikova Gilmore. a spellbinding blend of history and horror that reminds us that some secrets are better left to the dead. The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. The Lottery and Other Stories by Shirley Jackson is a collection that delivers a masterclass in unsettling, thought-provoking fiction. The collection includes 25 short stories, and each one is a testament to Jackson's skill as a writer. The Only Child by Andrew Pyper. It is a story that is not for the faint-hearted and cleverly combines literary history with contemporary life. Read it, and be prepared to forgive yourself if you decide afterward that you will never again make or trust a new friend. The Rule of Three by Sam Ripley. A mind-boggling mystery that will show you how obsession and fear can manipulate perceptions and skew logic. The Silent Corner by Dean Koontz. Timely and hard-hitting, and I eagerly await the next adventure from her place in the Silent Corner. The Uninvited by Liz Jensen. Jensen's novel is not only truly creepy and in some places terrifying, it's also an intriguing character study of what happens when a person purely defined by rationality, order, and common sense confronts an utterly irrational and nonsensical phenomenon. Before I introduce Claire, just a quick reminder that you can find detailed reviews of these thrilling reads in our free guide, 100 Thriller and Suspense Novels You Should Have Read. The link is in the description. Be sure to download your copy today.
A Mask of Flies by Matthew Lyons. It is action-packed and bloody, with more of the damage coming from guns, fists, and knives than ghouls or demons. While there are no plot twists, Lyons offers some fun turns along the way. Apartment 16 by Adam Nevill. A slow-burn horror novel that expertly blends the unease of the unknown with the creeping dread of a malevolent presence. Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. Rachel Harrison dedicates her novel to the bad kids, and the bad kid within every reader will gobble up this deliciously horrific novel. I enjoyed spending time with Vesper, even though she may have a serious dark side. Cutting Teeth by Chandler Baker. Both a searing social commentary on female friendships, community ties, and modern motherhood, and a riveting murder mystery, Cutting Teeth is delightfully weird, jaw-droppingly brilliant, and wickedly funny. Good Girls Don't Die by Christina Henry. As confounding as it is brilliant, the book finds all of Henry's talents on full display in a story of final girls like you've never seen them before. Last to Leave the Room by Caitlin Starling. The story of a door, a doppelganger, and a sinking city, but mostly it is about the ways in which identity is more fragile than we realize. My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. Jones takes the reader on a nightmarish roller coaster of mayhem through the final fourth of the book, with a couple of corkscrew surprises and some unexpected heroics before bringing the proceedings to a close. Necronomicon by H.P. Lovecraft. This collection of H.P. Lovecraft's stories is a journey into the heart of cosmic horror, showcasing the author's unique blend of science fiction and the supernatural. Suicide Bridge by Daniel Kowalski, a dark and twisting thriller that grabs your attention from the first page and doesn't let go until the very end. The Boy Who Drew Monsters by Keith Donahue. Donahue creates an atmosphere of dread and builds a world that becomes all too real in its unreality, and readers will turn the pages while filled with the same tension the characters are going through. The Drift by C.J. Tudor. A fine suspense read and possibly the best work of Tudor's illustrious career. The Heavens Rise by Christopher Rice. The Heavens Rise has elements of fantasy, romance, and race-against-the-clock adventure, an entertaining and chilling story. The Incubations by Ramsey Campbell. An outstanding book. The build-up throughout the story is orchestrated in a way that only a true horror master like Ramsey Campbell could design, and the overall experience is just what his readers have come to expect from his work. The Man in the Moss by Phil Rickman. A masterclass in atmospheric suspense, weaving a captivating tale steeped in the mysteries of a remote English village and its ancient Celtic past. The Orphan Choir by Sophie Hannah. The Orphan Choir is never predictable and makes for some chilling late-night reading. The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Khaw. Khaw's way with words is a wonder to behold. Cassandra Khaw is a horror voice we need to watch out for. This House is Haunted by John Boyne. Just when you think things are beginning to calm down, they move up a notch. A real indulgence and a fine read all around. As I hand things over to Kris, don't miss out on grabbing your free copy of 100 thriller and suspense novels you should have read. Inside, you'll find full reviews to dive even deeper into these gripping stories. The link is waiting for you in the description below.
A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand. Elizabeth Hand has always been a special writer. However, stepping into Shirley Jackson's shoes is a feat from which most authors would have shied away. A fine horror novel and exploration of the supernatural world. Bird Box by Josh Malerman. Suspenseful and inventive, Bird Box, like other good scary books, asks readers to leave the rational behind in exchange for a thrilling tale and to face fears with eyes open wide. Dreamer by Peter James. A compelling and unsettling thriller that masterfully blends the familiar with the unnerving. Everyone Here is Lying by Sherry Lapina. Lapina draws you in right away, keeping you guessing and the pages turning, and the pace doesn't relent until the end. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. From the shadowy figures in the woods to the sounds that go bump in the night, Home Before Dark is certain to creep you out. Malice House by Megan Shepherd. Shepherd crafts a seriously tight mystery with plenty of red herrings, shocking twists, and even a few jump scares, making it a chilling thriller with a totally immersive setting. Ramses the Damned by Anne Rice. Filled with history and Anne Rice's unique brand of drama, romance, suspense and the supernatural, this is a page-turner of a story with much to savor and enjoy. Rouge by Mona Awad. A dark, atmospheric indictment of our beauty-obsessed culture and the Hollywood image factory that fuels it. It's also about mothers and daughters, and one young woman's attempts to define. The Daylight Gate by Jeanette Winterson. Winterson's novel is both an excellent example of how fiction can enhance our understanding of history and a perfect illustration of how writers and readers alike can and should consider events like the witch trials through the lens of cultural history and interpretation. The Fervor by Alma Katsu. So well plotted that the inevitable meeting of all these characters I have covered in this review will take place, and believe me, it is worth the wait. The Haunted by Bentley Little. Little is a master of horror, and The Haunted is a chilling example of his ability to take everyday situations and twist them into nightmares. The Madness by Dawn Kurtagic. Kurtagic does a nice job assembling engaging female lead characters and occasionally switching perspectives for increased intrigue and tension. The Rains by Greg Hurwitz. Hurwitz tells the story of the Rains in gruesome detail, intertwining zombie terror with alienated sci-fi in a tale like no other. The Scarlet Gospels by Clive Barker. A most refreshing return from one of the living legends of horror, and I hope Barker continues to do his part in making the horror and dark fantasy genres relevant again. The Spite House by Johnny Compton. Blends the requisite horror, dread and terror with broader existential themes of life and death, retribution and responsibility. Compton unpacks family legacies of all kinds in this frightening yet heartfelt first outing. Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno-Garcia. Proving yet again that there is no genre she can't master, Sylvia Moreno-Garcia wows with Velvet Was the Night, an edgy and smoky noir perfect for those who love slow burn mysteries and intricate plots. Yellow Cake by Margot Lanigan. Lanigan's command of language sweeps the reader into the world of each story, requiring only a page or two to get you settled before casting off. Before Martina takes the spotlight, remember to check out our free guide, 100 thriller and suspense novels you should have read. It's packed with in-depth reviews that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Just click the link in the description to download it now.
666, Park Avenue by Gabriella Pierce. A captivating novel that effortlessly blends romance with elements of mystery and the supernatural. 7 Steps to Midnight by Richard Matheson. A mind-bending thriller that takes the reader on a wild ride through shifting realities and escalating paranoia. A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. Creepy, dark, and often quite sad. Unique and unpredictable. The information readers have, in the end, proves unreliable, making A Head Full of Ghosts haunting in a psychological, postmodern way. Bitter is the Heart by Mina Hardy. Hardy's use of Jewish mysticism and religion is great, lending a unique worldview in the horror genre. A compelling and chilling read with some cinematically gross moments. Full Throttle by Joe Hill. The 14 stories in this very generous collection should include a directive to the reader to settle back and strap in while expecting nose and brain bleeds. Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. Don't be surprised if your copy of the book bursts into flames of its own accord at some point. It corkscrews its way to an ending that you won't expect, but is all the better for it. It by Stephen King. A sprawling, epic, and deeply unsettling journey into the heart of fear itself. This is not just a horror story, but a complex exploration of childhood trauma, memory, and the insidious nature of evil. Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. The ending, in particular, is a surprising twist that, after reflection, is perhaps the only way that this escalating series of events could have concluded. Yet we do not see it coming. At all. Skitter by Ezekiel Boone. Any hope, however fleeting, that the pestilence introduced in the hatching could be cleared up with a can of Raid, flamethrowers, and gallon containers of Suspend are pretty much overrun here. Somebody's Home by Kyra Ruda. This story is a perfect storm of circumstances gone wrong for so many people at the same time. There's always hope, though. The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. Reads like a Sherlock Holmes mystery populated by characters from an Agatha Christie novel and set inside a game of Clue. The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. A thrill ride that's equal parts terrifying and satisfying as the final girls refuse to be victimized anymore. The Magic Cottage by James Herbert. A masterfully crafted tale that blends the allure of the supernatural with the very real anxieties of modern life. The Night House by Joe Nesbo. A typical horror novelist might have given readers a wild final act. However, in the hands of Joe Nesbo, The Night House goes in an entirely different direction. The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. While the premise of The Reformatory is no doubt familiar to many readers, Due cuts the historical fiction elements of her book with jarring, jump-scare, phantasmagorical elements to create one of the most chilling works of historical horror I have ever read. The String Diaries by Stephen Lloyd Jones. A supernatural thriller whose antagonist shares characteristics with literary vampires, shapeshifters, and love-mad killers. A strange and compelling story with a haunting premise and an increasingly frantic pace. Zone 1 by Colson Whitehead. Even as Whitehead encourages a new engagement with the zombie phenomenon, his work also prompts a renewed thoughtfulness toward our own actions, the many mindless daily acts that, for better or for worse, form the pattern of our days. Now, as Megan steps in, let me remind you that our free ebook, 100 Thriller and Suspense Novels You Should Have Read, includes full reviews for these must-read titles. You can grab your copy via the link in the description below.
Alice Isn't Dead by Joseph Fink. While focusing on monsters and occult forces, Alice Isn't Dead remains incredibly grounded by its authenticity. Blood Like Mine by Stuart Nevill. The finale is especially devastating, which makes it that much more memorable. Blood Like Mine is an instant classic and easily one of the best reads of 2024 or any year. Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. Even as we think we understand what has happened and why, Hepworth is not done with the surprises as she deftly flips the rug over to show us that what we thought we were seeing is not the truth at all. Demeter by William Peter Blatty. In 1973, in a dark, damp and desolate concrete room in the basement of an Albanian prison, a place where Grace and Hope had never touched, and even the dust in the air was heard shrieking. A man is interrogated and brutally tortured. Hemlock Island by Kelly Armstrong. As I was reading this book, I kept thinking about what a great movie or limited series it would make. The descriptions are so clear that we can almost see the group making its way across the small island. Little Eve by Catriona Ward. Grisly, dark and really quite sad, Little Eve is a frightening emotional exploration of abuse, control, and the longing for love and freedom. Pandemic by Scott Sigler. Pandemic will get you thinking about such things and considering taking baths in sanitizer, bleach, or anything that kills germs, and along the way will scare the living immunities out of you. Naturally, I loved every frightening minute of it. Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. Not your typical coming-of-age story. It's a chilling, captivating tale that delves into the alluring and terrifying nature of desire, the seductive power of the unknown, and the enduring strength of friendship. The Boatman's Daughter by Andy Davidson. Arguably the perfect horror novel. It may well be the perfect novel, period, or at least on a short list of such titles. The Crane Husband by Kelly Barnhill. A haunting, unsettling meditation on abuse, love, and obligation. The Crane Wife is yet another terrific book for fans of Barnhill's young adult and adult works of fantasy. The Drowning House by Cherie Priest. Will be difficult to shake and provide some ideas and imagery that only a master of horror and dark fantasy could conjure. The Folly by Gemma Amor. A deeply unsettling and evocative novel that explores themes of family, grief, guilt, and the unreliable nature of memory. The Lamplighter by Anthony O'Neill. A dark and atmospheric novel set in 19th century Edinburgh, a city of sharp contrasts and hidden depths, where intellectual pursuits and philosophical debates exist alongside grim realities and a palpable sense of unease. The Paleontologist by Luc Dumas. A tremendously entertaining book that I could not easily shake. Dumas provides such an original take on horror that it practically begs to fall within its own special genre. The September House by Carissa Orlando. Orlando starts The September House with a light hand and a sly wit, but as the novel moves on, she confronts readers with ideas about trauma, violence, power, abuse, self-worth, and forgiveness. Where They Wait by Scott Carson. A story that will infect the dreams of readers and leave them with some unsettling imagery, all of which has been masterfully crafted by a talented author who keeps adding to his already impressive resume. Before Nathan shares his thoughts, don't forget to claim your free copy of 100 thriller and suspense novels you should have read. It's your go-to for detailed reviews of all the top picks. Hit the link in the description to get it today.
All the White Spaces by Ally Wilkes. The best parts are toward the end, the gripping final battle between humans and evil spirits in an environment where survival is already a life-or-death struggle. Read by Chase Novak. If you like horror and want something a little different to scare you, you will want to pick up this book. Don't Ask, Don't Follow by Mary Kaylee Ikoa. Kaylee Ikoa plays cat and mouse with the reader's emotions. This mousy reader followed each misleading turn, only to find a Cheshire grin and a glint in the cat's eye. Dracula by Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker's Dracula remains a cornerstone of Gothic literature and a chilling exploration of the battle between good and evil. Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. A haunting and disturbing tale that lingers long after the final page is turned. Told from the perspective of Kathy Dollenganga, the story draws the reader into a world of secrets, lies, and the chilling consequences of greed. Hex by Thomas Oldie Huvelt. Huvelt thinks of everything, and he has an answer for you, no matter what your question is, weaving it flawlessly into the narrative even as he gives a nod and a wink in tribute to a contemporary horror classic or two. Lone Women by Victor Laval. Masterful, timely, confrontational, surprising and poignant. It is a gorgeous look at identity and second chances, what weighs us down and how we can help each other soar. Red Rain by R. L. Stein. Prepare to be scared witless. Red Rain is definitely goosebumps for adults. The Enemy by Charlie Hickson. Imagine a disease afflicting everyone over the age of 16. Those it doesn't kill become flesh-eating monsters preying on the children who have been left behind.
The Furies by John Connolly. I have a soft spot for scary tales, so I am happy to report that John Connolly and his trusty protagonist do not disappoint. The Hill of Dreams by Arthur Machen. A haunting and intensely introspective journey into the mind of a young man named Lucian Taylor, who is both blessed and cursed with a powerful imagination. The Loney by Andrew Michael Hurley. Atmospheric, harrowing, and suffused with mystery, both metaphysical and psychological, The Loney is a riveting read. The Patient by Jasper DeWitt, a fairly quick read that simmers at first and boils later, leaving readers looking over their shoulder long after the last page has been turned. The Shadow People by Joe Clifford. The last third of the novel reads more like something out of the brain of Hunter S. Thompson, featuring a bizarre subsection of characters, underground denizens, and a focus on the color blue. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins stands on its own as a gothic-tinged thriller, one where bright colors, big hair, and perfect manners hide more than a few dark secrets. William by Mason Coyle. The finale is indeed terrifying and so well written that it is easy for Coyle to manipulate his readers. This includes a whammy of a twist that I did not see coming. Before I hand you back to Claire, don't forget that full, in-depth reviews are available from our free 100 thriller and suspense novels you should have read. See the link in the description below to grab your copy today.
And there you have it, an incredible selection of books by iconic authors you love to read. Have you read any? If so, drop a comment below and let us know what you thought. And if you haven't, do they sound like a must-read for you? If you enjoyed today's deep dive, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more book deep dives, and share this video with your fellow book lovers. Don't forget that full in-depth reviews are available from our free 100 thriller and suspense novels you should read. See the link in the description below to grab your copy today. Support your reading journey. To make it easier for you to discover and enjoy these incredible books, we've included affiliate links to bookshop.org beneath each book cover. These links direct you to either the UK or US store, depending on your region. By using these links, not only can you purchase your next favorite read conveniently, but you'll also be supporting independent bookstores and our ongoing work at SmartBookWorms. Thank you for helping us champion great stories and the vibrant community of readers worldwide. And until next time on Deep Dive with SmartBookWorms, keep reading, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next one.